Okay. Well, I want to first of all, thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to kind of go over and share a couple of things that I noticed out in the field and working this business. And I thought when I was thinking about, things that I could share with everybody, I know one thing that's near and dear to all of us is objections. We all get them, and we all deal with different types of people out there. And so I just want to kind of just go over a few things, kind of give you some tips on, how you can kind of like deal with the different personalities of people that you meet out there in the field. And, there are many kind of prospects that we deal with, and there are really two things you really need to know about all the people that you deal with. The first thing is that they all want to be right and they all want to be understood. So they all want to be, like in a part of what you're doing, and they all want to feel like that you're not just, that they have a say in what's going on, and they all want to be right. The second thing that you need to understand is that at the point of closing them, all of them are afraid that they're going to make a mistake, particularly if, they're going to spend a significant amount of money, and as a result, sometimes they are not quite normal. And it's been proven that at the point of the decision maker, actually their heartbeats actually start increasing. And, you got fear there, and sometimes that fear affects their judgment. So I suppose in the truest sense of the word, we could say that they are not quite normal. Therefore, all the prospects, people that you see, want you to reassure them that they're making the right decision. So that's, so you want to remember those type of things in your presentation. They want to be understood. There's fear there sometimes, and then you want to assure them that it's okay. So what we have to do is we have to convince whoever we're working with that they're making the right decision. And the objective is not to defeat the prospect, go to toe with them, but to convince them that if they get their life insurance, they're going to be a lot better off. They're going to be a lot happier. They're going to have peace of mind. They're going to be better off. And that's the best kind of, that's the way you want to go about doing something like this, because they actually realize and feel, after they, after everything is closed up, that they made a good decision to move forward. They know what it's going to do for them and their family. They have peace of mind about the decision that they're making. And that's the main thing, because a lot of times the people that we deal with, at the time that they fill that card out and send it in, a lot of them, they've already been through something traumatic. They've lost a loved one somewhere. They've been to a funeral here and there, and they tell you about these things. And so they don't have peace of mind, because they know that, every funeral they go to, every time they hear about somebody else, passing away in the family, or friends or something like that, they realize their own insecurity as not having anything in place. So they're not able to rest, they're not able to have that peace of mind. So, so the objective is, as you're talking to them, is to make sure, that they understand, that they're making a good decision. They're going to be able to sleep better. They're going to feel better. And they actually tell you that. They'd be so happy that you came by, and they'd be so happy that even though you knocked on the door and you surprised them, they didn't expect you coming, they'd be so glad that you did finally come by and sit down with them and help them out. And therefore, they're going to realize they have something that's very important that they're going to actually hold on to. In your presentation, you always want to point out how important it is to hold on to, that insurance policy if they get it, because they may not be able to get another one. So that's very important to make sure you don't get chargebacks, or either that they actually keep the policy. So if you do your presentation right, you're going to have less chargebacks on top of that as well. Another thing to remember is that as objections are raised, regardless of the kind of prospect that you deal with, all the way from the gullible to the hostile prospect, we should first, we should act delighted about the opposition, the objection that they give us, and assure the person that the objection is not going to be a problem when they see the remaining portion of the presentation. So in other words, whatever they throw up, you want to cushion yourself, and you want to, not let them see you sweat, and like it's making you nervous. So you should anticipate objections, because you're going to get some objections. So you should anticipate that you are going to get some objections. And so it's the way that you come across when they tell you no or whatever they tell you the objection is. Because you have to remember, objections, they thrive on opposition, but they die with the agreement. So, and then we treat the objection as a question, and then we use that question as the catalyst to get the prospect involved in the sales process. And then third, we get a commitment. And this is the only question. And fourth, when possible, we use the objection as the reason that they should go ahead on and get the life insurance coverage, and that's why we use that same objection. Now, don't misunderstand. Now, there's no singular formula or procedure that we can use or fit into every sales situation or objection that you're going to encounter. There's no formula. It's just you should remember that you should cushion yourself, and you should be able to turn the objection around in the form of a question, and then use that to motivate the client to go ahead on and get the life insurance. Okay. Now, most of the prospects that you see, they don't want to say no. They don't want to say no to you because no is final, and they haven't moved in it. They haven't got nowhere. They're right back, they're right back to where they started at. They still don't have that life insurance. They still need that life insurance. They still don't have peace of mind yet because they need to get that life insurance. So most of the people that you see, they don't want to say no. So you have to keep that in mind. And actually, before you leave your house, you have to realize that these people, you got those leads, they really need you, and you're like the cavalry coming over the hill. So just remember that objections are not a reflection on you, and you shouldn't take them personally. Just keep your cool, and your chances of making a sale are going to be greatly enhanced if you stay cool. I kind of like sit back, have a smile on my face. When they're objecting to me, I just, instead of leaning forward, like I'm alarmed and surprised, I anticipate that I'm going to get some kind of an objection. And so I just sit back and listen to them, have a smile on my face, and then I tell them, I say, Mr. Jones, whatever they tell me, I always tell them that I do understand how they feel. I do understand that you feel that you need to talk to your daughter about this. Or I do understand that you feel like you want to wait on this. Or I do feel like that you want to talk, or somebody in your family, you feel somebody else got coverage on you somewhere. Whatever they tell me, I always tell them I understand how they feel, and basically, so that's to get on their side. Then I tell them, other people, have told me the same thing. Other people have felt the same way that you feel or felt, because it's perfectly normal to feel that way. Okay, other people felt the same way. But, what they found out is that by waiting around or by, thinking that they had somebody else had coverage on them, or, saying they didn't have the money right now, what they found out is this. So whatever they tell you, if you'll come out with, I understand how you feel first, and then you want to try to answer the objection. But you want to be cool in the whole process of everything that you're doing, okay? And you want to get them involved in the whole process too, okay? So that's, so you deal with different types of prospects out there. You got some gullible people out there. You got some people that's hostile out there. You got some people that's like they ready to go right away. They have a good attitude. They let you in the house, and they'll come out right away and tell you why they sent it in, because they'll come out and say, I need some life insurance, or either we just went to a funeral. And then you'll have some people that'll tell you, I got plenty of life insurance, okay? I don't need no more life insurance. I got plenty of life insurance. Well, the truth of the matter is, you have to realize that when people tell you that they've already got life insurance, which most of the people that we actually see out there, at least half of them that I see, they've already got some kind of life insurance, But what you're there to do is you have to realize that if they were so secure in what they had, that they wouldn't took the time to fill out that pink card, put their personal information on there, their name, their 2 telephone numbers, their home and their cell phone number on there, their ages, and mail that into the office. If they were really secure and happy about life insurance, and they had enough, they wouldn't take the time to send that in. So regardless of what they're telling you, you know, there's a need there. They probably need a little bit more. So, you know, most times, and sometimes they don't have enough, or either they're not secure in what they do have. So you have to, you know, the first thing that I do is I make them feel good, you know, when they tell me that they've got life insurance. You know, I'll say, well, you know, Mr. Jones, that is wonderful that you have some type of life insurance. The first thing I like to do is commend you that you took the responsibility to get some coverage on yourself. Because so many people that I see, they don't have anything at all, and they end up leaving a burden on their family. So that is good that you took the responsibility. I commend you that you took the responsibility because you care about your family enough not to leave a burden on them. And then sometimes, you know, they may not be telling you the truth, but when you tell them that, they begin to realize, well, he just don't know. I don't have no life insurance at all. You know, he just commended me on something that I don't really have. See, so, and then sometimes they'll have a coverage, and then they'll feel good that you are acknowledging that they did make a good decision to get some. And then I tell them, now, here's what I can do to help you out. I say, now, you know, other people that send this in, you know, they'll have some type of coverage. And so the reason that they would send this in if they've already got coverage is because they're looking to add a little bit more than what they have, or either they have the wrong type of coverage, you know, like a term policy that's maybe about to expire, or either they may be working and they're going to retire here in a couple of years or so, and they want to make sure they got something else in place because once they're no longer working, then now their job cuts their coverage. So you probably were looking to add a little bit, you know, a little bit more than what you got. Is that one of the reasons that you sent this in? And then sometimes they'll come out and say, yeah, I want to add a little bit more, and because I didn't have enough, and or either they may say, no, I got $50,000 of insurance, I got enough life insurance. And then I say, well, that's good that you do have that amount of coverage. So it's my job, number one, as a free service to you to make sure that you have that adequate coverage and that, you know, that it's going to do what you expect for it to do. Now, that term policy that you have, are you aware that that's going to terminate on you at some point? You know, so I start educating them on how important it is to understand what it is that they have, and get them to go get the policy for me. And sometimes that's what I actually do. I'll say, well, do you mind going and getting the term policy? Let's just take a look at it as a free service to you to kind of make sure you understand exactly what this policy is going to do. And then sometimes they'll go get it, and then sometimes they'll say they don't have it, you know, because sometimes they really don't have any coverage, but they just throwing up a smoke screen. So you have to be professional, because once they see that you are a professional, then, you know, they're going to start loosening up, and then the truth is going to come out. And then you give them a way to come back in, you know, by saying that, well, it's okay you can't sign your policy, but, you know, maybe you were looking to add a little bit more than what you got. Is that why you sent this card in? You know, and so they'll normally come clean. She say, yeah, that is why I sent it in. I was looking to add a little bit more to what I've got. And then now you can proceed right on with your presentation after you get over that part of it. So you have to keep that in mind, you know, when you're out there, that they do want to say yes. It's a reason that they sent that card in. It doesn't matter what they tell you or anything like that. You have to realize that they sent that card in because they need some additional coverage, or either they don't have any coverage at all. So, you know, you got different people out there that you got to deal with. And the thing is, you know, if you run across somebody that's hostile, because some people are hostile, you have to break down that wall of resistance. You know, if you go into somebody's house, and the way I do it is, you know, I'll either doing a door knock or either appointment, you know, the first thing I ask them is, how they doing? How you doing this morning, Mr. Jones? If they say, oh, I'm not doing too good, I don't feel too well or whatever, and then I would say, well, I'm sorry that you're having a bad day or whatever, but I promise you I'm not going to take a lot of your time with this. And so, you know, you remember sending this card in, and if they still got that wall of resistance up, you know, where they're real groggy or whatever like that, if sometimes you may have to just say, well, you know, Mr. Jones, this is not a good day for you. It's not a good day for you, and so it'll be better if we can reschedule this, because I know you're not feeling well. Let's just go ahead and reschedule this, and you know, and I could come back either later this afternoon or tomorrow around 10 or maybe tomorrow at 1. Which one of those would work best for you? So sometimes it's better to just take it away from them rather than sit there and argue with somebody. You know, they still got that defensive wall up, and they're not going to be open, and they're not going to be attentive, and they're not going to be paying any attention to you as long as you have that defensive wall up there. So you got to get that wall down. If you can't get the wall down, then sometimes it's better to just take it away from them altogether. I mean, you know, we got enough people to go see. And a lot of times when you take things away from people, that's when they want them the most. And normally they'll kind of calm down, you know, and they'll say somewhere, yeah, I'm not really feeling that well today, but, you know, that's okay. You know, we can probably get through this, and they'll be willing to sit down with you then, and that's what you want. But it's somebody, we don't have to try to get through somebody that's got that wall up and try to make them sit down and try to make them hear what we got to say while we're there. I mean, you know, that's not the right thing to do. The best thing to do is just like tell them, well, you know, Mr. Jones, this is not a good time for you today. You're not feeling well. And, you know, so what we can do is we can reschedule this for a better time to where you're feeling better. And but you still want to be in control of when you can come back. You don't let them tell you when they want you to come back. You want to tell them when you can come back with respect to your time. And I tell them, you know, well, you know, I'm going to be in this area, you know, this afternoon. I could possibly come back this afternoon. Hopefully you'll be feeling better then. Or I could come back, you know, my schedule will allow me to come back tomorrow around 2 o'clock or so. Will that work good? Would that work best for you? And get them to commit to a time and set the appointment right then and there for you to come back. And most of the time they want, you know, they'll probably go ahead and settle down and let you do the presentation. Okay. So that's one way. That's very important when you deal with people. You don't have to try to sit down and fight through people that's fighting you and stuff. You know, you just kind of like take it away from them, and then that way, you know, they gonna want to gravitate, you know, more to you because they sense some type of loss. You know, they sense some type of loss.